Well, hello, my Facebook and YouTube friends. How y'all doing? All right. So Trump 2024, actually Trump 2025 through 2028, right? Did I get the math right? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or 2029. Anyway, let me know. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Um, can you guys hear me okay? Okay. If if by any chance you guys can hear me, just let me know. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, a lot of us are happy, a lot of us are sad, a lot of us are angry. There's a lot of anger. Gee, I mean, a lot of anger. But anyway, um, I've got three hours to kill here, so I'm gonna ramble on. However, if you want to participate, if you want to actually speak with me, I won't be able to type for obvious reasons. I'm driving. But if you want to speak with me, I have the instructions there. You could get on an app called, or a platform called Jitsi Meet, and I've got it on speaker, so we'd be able to talk. The only thing that you might have to um, get out of Facebook or YouTube to be able to speak, so that there's no feedback on your end. So, yeah, the instructions are there. Okay, on your mobile app, on your mobile device, you download Jitsi Meet. Again, I have the instructions there. You download Jitsi Meet, and when it asks you for a room name, you type in the call, no space, all together. The call all together. If you're on a PC or a laptop, just type in the URL, and boom, you're in automatically. Easy peasy. So anyway, uh, yeah, there's a lot of happiness, a lot of hate, a lot of uh, anger. Geez, wow, a lot of anger. And I'm gonna call out both sides because some idiots, um, some idiot Trump supporters are kind of like mock, how could I say, mocking or making fun of, or saying strong, strong wording, you know, like crap, like your body, my choice. In other words, they're mocking, you know, and this and that, and I don't know who's sending all those hate text messages to blacks, to Latinos, or whatever. My opinion is that it's actually extreme left, um, extreme left people sending those messages to make it seem like it's Trump supporters, to make Trump look bad, and you know what? They're unfortunately being successful because it's all over mainstream media, so on and so forth. So it's just making Trump look bad more than they're already making him look. But anyway, so if you want to have a discussion, go into Jitsi Meet. I have it on, and we can actually have a discussion because I don't have time to be posting stuff on Facebook, making YouTube videos. I wish I did, but we're all trying to survive out here in this. No matter what they say, oh, it's a thriving economy. No, it's not. No, it's not. The trucking industry has been hurting for the past 2, 3 years. You know, they've been hurting. So many trucking companies closing down. So many owner operators selling their trucks, losing their trucks, closing the doors. Um, so I could only speak for my industry, but if you really look around, I don't care what people say. The restaurants are in full, the malls are in full, you know, or anything like that. So the economy is not really thriving, and if it is a false economy because of the printing of money. If you want to call it quantitative easing, if you want to call it pumping of money, whatever it is, it's a false economy because the GDP is going up at the same 2-3% per year. Okay, but the national debt is exponentially skyrocketing, and that has to be paid back. I mean, how the heck do you figure that? Let's say the GDP, I don't know what it is right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's say the GDP is, um, let's say that the GDP is 200, what is it? 230 trillion, whatever it is, 230 trillion. But yet we owe 36 trillion and going up. It's skyrocketing. So how do you figure that that's a good economy? And unemployment, no matter what they say, is going up. People are losing their jobs because again it's the fudging of the numbers. It's the fudging of the numbers. In other words, right now there's a certain percentage of people on unemployment, but how many people have lost the unemployment because they've been on unemployment so long and they still don't have a job? But yet the numbers say that oh, there's only 4 or 5% unemployment. Okay, so no, it's not a thriving economy. And not only that, the dollar is losing its value because of the printing of money. And it goes both sides. You know, Trump printed a lot of money during COVID, but it was an unprecedented time. I'm not justifying it. It was an unprecedented time. We didn't know what to do. We closed down the economy completely, which was pushed by the Democrats. It hurt the economy, but yet the red states that refused to close, to close down during the pandemic, okay, they had the same numbers or even less numbers than uh, the states that closed down, and the economy didn't hurt us. But anyway, we didn't know whatever. So that is the only year. If you look at the data, that is the only year that there was an exorbitant amount of printing of money, if you will, or printing of money is borrowing money from the Federal Reserve. All in a nutshell. I always say, go to YouTube and go to Mike Maloney's. Uh, I forget what it is. I think it's called the Secrets of Money or the Secrets of How Money Works by Mike Maloney. It'll teach you all of that of how money works, the history of money and how it works and how. Anyway, the printing of money is borrowing of money. That's basically what it is. So it was the only year that the national debt went up. But if you look at the prior 3 years from during Trump, the the national debt went up uh, slightly. It didn't go up like, let's say, 1.5 trillion his year one, then 1.8, and then two. No, it stayed at around 1.5, 1.7, and then boom, 2020, $4 trillion. Okay, so we were on our way to a great economy. I mean, we saw it. The second year of Trump's term, boom, everything started to go up. Why? because manufacturers actually started bringing their production to the United States. And this is all about, okay, so you saw the title, Trump 2024. Why Trump? Okay, why Trump? I'm not, a fan of nobody. Nobody. I don't venerate nobody. I don't worship nobody or anything like that. So I just like his policies way better than the other candidates. Mind you, for your information, I'm a registered independent. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a registered independent. At 18 years old, when I registered as an independent because I said if there's a candidate, a Democrat candidate or an independent candidate that that is well qualified in my eyes, I'm going to vote for that person. However, in 30 years that I've been voting, I've never voted Democrat because my background, for most of you that know, is from Cuba, and I was raised by my parents, my grandparents, and my great grandparents that went through everything from Cuba, and they would just tell me the stories for years. I would just listen to the stories back from Machado. I mean, I've been debating, a couple of people here on Facebook, and they're saying that, oh, Trump is a dictator, Trump is a fascist, he's a communist, socialist. I'm like, what the heck? You know, nothing. He doesn't simulate anything of a dictator. Yeah, he's got his point of view, and by the way, um, I don't I don't support all of his views. There's a lot of views that don't align with me, but his policies, most of his policies do. Okay, so that is why I vote for a person like Trump. Now, all this hate that is going on, okay, I don't understand because for the most part, people don't change. Yeah, he's not an angel. By no means is he an angel, but he's not a horrible person either. For crying out loud, what the heck? If you look at, I invite most of you that hate him to look back at all his old interviews from when he was from the 80s, the 90s, and just listen to him. For crying out loud, listen to the guy. If he had his point of, and he was even a Democrat back then, for crying out loud. But anyway, if you listen to how what he would say, yes, he's a blunt, bold person. He may come across as arrogant. He might be arrogant. He may come across as narcissist. He may as well be narcissist. But so what? That's what we need up there in the White House. We need somebody like that to keep all these other world leaders in check. Yes, it's a good thing. And I was actually speaking to a family member the other day who is a Democrat who voted for Harris. She's a liberal lefty, and we were having a friendly debate, right? And we were having a friendly debate, and I mentioned that, and you said, you know what? And she hates him, but she said, you know what? That's why I like that's good. That's what I like about him. That he's straightforward, blunt, and he shows who he is, and that's who he is. At least he's not. At least he's showing his true color. Yes, thank you. I'm not supposed to be reading, but because I'm driving. That is correct. That is a good point. That's why I said he may as well, even if he may as well be a narcissist. But no matter what people say, he is empathetic. And by the way, for those of you joining, if you want to have a live conversation with me, I have the instructions in the description. Whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, I do not know if it came out on YouTube or Facebook. Please let me know. But I am on the channel called The Call in a platform called Jitsi Meet. Okay, if you're on a mobile phone, download the app Jitsi Meet, and when it asks you for room name, just put The Call all together, no space. Or if you're on a PC or laptop, just type in the link meet, like meet you on Friday or meet you Saturday, MEET, meet.jit.si /the call all together. And you'll jump right in and we can have a live conversation. It'll be heard on Facebook or YouTube, and we can have a live conversation. It'll make it a lot easier for me because I'm driving. And if you agree with what I'm saying, jump in. If you don't agree with me, especially if you don't agree with me, I want you to jump in, please. And we'll have a friendly debate. The rules will be basically, just let each other talk for 2 minutes, then we could interrupt. 2 minutes, or something like that, and let's not interrupt each other and let's talk. Because I believe, it is unfortunate. The narcissist. I mean, all the things that he has done. I mean, he how could he be racist if he actually was awarded the Ellis Island Award back in the 90s, the 80s or 90s? I mean, I've posted that before. You can go on my Facebook, just a couple of posts down, and you'll see that there's a picture with him and Rosa Parks and Muhammad Ali. Okay, and he was awarded the Ellis Island Award. And if you don't know what it is, Google it. Which is an award given for patriotism, for patronage, for helping, etc. If you hear him talk in the 80s, 90s, and even today, he's always been concerned with the homeless, the veterans, the sick, etc. Please go back and listen, okay? And these are things I probably should have done before he was elected. But again, I've been so freaking busy trying to run my business, etc., etc. I'm overwhelmed. But here he's already elected. So I mean, he's already elected. So but what we need to do, folks, everybody, Trump supporters, non-Trump supporters, especially Trump supporters. Now we need to work. We cannot rely all our work. We cannot put everything on Trump. Trump got elected, we're saved. No, no. We all have to participate. We all have to we have to bring up the country. We have to still talk to people and tell them that that the mainstream media is not telling them the truth. We need to listen to independent. We need to listen to independent journalists on both sides. Listen to independent journalists. Don't listen to the mainstream media. The mainstream media is all about the money. They don't care. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about the truth. By the way, Miss Linda, how do you hear me? Okay? Am I talking too loud? Am I talking too low? Well, I'm not talking low. I'm a little excited, but um, do you hear me? Okay? Hi, Miss Patricia. Yes, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. Been busy, trying to survive in this, and I'm being sarcastic, quote unquote, in this thriving economy. You know, working three times as much to be able to earn the same thing. Um, doing, earning the same thing during Trump, right? Oh, thank you, Linda. Okay, perfect. But um, but anyways, hey, uh, another question. Are the instructions on the description in YouTube? Let me know, please. The instructions to get on Jitsi. So anyway, so you know, it's it's crazy how the other side. And by the way, I'm not an extreme right. I'm middle right. I am on the right, but I'm middle right. I'm not extreme right. But when I say the other side, I say from the middle, the extreme other side. Uh, the extreme other side. So they, whenever we come up with these theories, right? They're quick to dismiss them as, oh, conspiracy theorists, blah blah blah, and this and that. But eventually, those theories actually come true, and then all you hear is crickets on the other side after they come true. They don't acknowledge it. They don't tell you, holy smokes, you were right, and so on and so forth. Um, but they do come true, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is that there is so much evidence out there. I mean, it's not my lane. My lane is trucking. However, I think that I'm able to listen to a lot of documentaries, listen to a lot of things as I'm driving, a lot more than the average person. I mean, we drive 10 hours at a time, 11 hours at a time. And me personally, instead of listening to music and this and that, I just listen to educational stuff. I listen to other independent journalists. So I have a lot of knowledge. So anyway, so you have the Alex Joneses, you have the Bonginos, you have all these people that do the research and they present the evidence. For example, that most of the media is owned by, I don't know, fill in the blank, BlackRock, Blackstone, George Soros, um, possibly the World Economic Forum, blah blah blah. They present you the evidence, but then it's dismissed as conspiracy theory. Oh yeah, you believe the lies. What the heck? One thing I have seen is that, for example, the right side, the Trump supporters, the Republicans, they they talk with evidence. They show evidence. They say, hey, this, and this. For example, hey, the mainstream media is owned by BlackRock because look who's funding it here. But then the left says, oh, misinformation, or oh, um, Trump is a racist. Where's your evidence? When has he ever said, racist? I mean, everybody at one point or another, intentionally or not, may have said some kind of racist remark or something like that. Um, Mostly, I would want to believe unintentionally, but for the most part, show me evidence. We see the evidence that Trump is not a racist. We see him back in the 80s, 90s talking to you know minorities, black folks. He employs minorities and so on and so forth. We got black reverends that have known him for 30, 40 years saying Trump is not a racist. He hugged my kids, whatever, he shook my hand, he hugged my, my daughter or something. Like, our racists will never do that. But yet, you see Biden, holding the hand up of, I forgot this, the head of the Ku Klux, the KKK, Robert, I forgot his last name, Robert something, raising his hand and this and that. And oh no, Biden is not a racist. So we show evidence, but then there's no evidence on the other side. So my point is, okay, do your research. Don't believe the mainstream media because they're all about the money. They're gonna they're gonna create the narrative that those that fund the mainstream media want you to create, and it is so freaking obvious, you know, because Trump, orange, bad man, pig, Kamala, the best thing since sliced bread, uh, better than Obama, and the perfect family, the perfect person, and this and that. But they don't talk anything negative about her, for example, or Biden, and they talk positive about Biden and Harris. But then Orange Man, bad, 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 Hitler, but they never show his good side, but all the good things he did. So, and folks, please use your common sense. And if you're just joining, follow the instructions on the description. If you want to have a live conversation with me, if you want to have a debate, obviously because I'm driving, because I'm actually tired of typing. The point I was making earlier uh, about me not having time to post stuff and this and that, I just post two things after Trump got elected, and I've gotten into a debate with like 3 or 4 people, and I'm having to spend so much time writing and debating and this and that. You know what? Let's have a live debate. Get on. Let's have a live debate, right? A friendly debate, and let's go. Where are you guys? Get on. Get on Jitsi. Follow the instructions. Get on Jitsi. For everybody to hear, let's get on a live debate. So far, crickets. So anyway, so I'm gonna be doing this, all this time. I have spent the last 2 3 days just being unproductive. Okay, just writing and writing and writing and writing and writing, and I'm like, what am I doing? We gotta flip. So all of America needs to come together. Okay, and we need to shift towards the positive. Okay, all you lefties out there. Okay, your candidate lost. Trump won. Let's make the best of it. Okay. Hey, not to tap myself on the shoulder. I wasn't happy when Biden won in 2020 at all. And what you think because of that? I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm done and this and that. I'm not gonna work anymore. I'm not gonna build a business. You know what? Honestly, me personally, and I think in the trucking industry, I think I've been kind of lucky because I landed an account. But then again, all my eggs are in one basket. I'm actually having and I'll be honest. I'm going to be very honest. I'm actually having some of the best couple of years in my life. But it's because I got lucky and I jumped into an account that is thriving. But all other truck drivers I'm hearing the sad story. Okay, they're not the trucking industry is not doing good, and had it not been, for that account, I would not be where I'm at right now. But again, it's not a good thing because all my eggs are in one basket. Robert Bird, thank you. Yes, Robert Bird. Thank you, Blues Lady. And yet there's no evidence of Trump being you know, affiliated with any of these hate groups or anything like that. So, anyways, yes, I thrived. Okay, I thrived these last years. So, so all you lefties out there, just make the best of it. You guys are calling are crying wolf. Okay, you guys are you know all of a sudden y'all have become Nostradamus. Y'all have become freaking psychics. Oh, this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, and you'll see, and Trump is gonna be president for 20 years if he gets to 100 years. And then his family is gonna take over, and it's gonna be a dictatorship, and it's gonna be Cuba, and it's gonna be what the heck? We didn't have that 4 years ago, or 4 years. None of that ever happened. Stop being negative. Let's be positive. Okay? I hated that freaking Biden won in 2020. Now did I did I come out and start hating people? Hey, no. It is what it is. Congratulations. I really hope that Biden does well. I really hope so. At the end of the day, whether he actually got legitimately elected or not, whatever, it is what it is. Okay? He is the new president. Whatever. All these theories, and I always take all these theories with a grain of salt, and they were all these right wing, extreme rightists or whatever, Trump supporters. Oh no, Trump is still president. He's really president in the de jure government. Biden is for the de facto government, and this and that is not the real government. The United States is a corporation. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, where's the evidence? I wanna see evidence. I honestly haven't found it except for the USC codes. It mentions something about the United States. I forgot what statute or whatever. It does mention something about the United States being a corporation, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it was intentionally done a corporation or whatever. But we actually have to abide by the Constitution, right? So I've gone off on a tangent. I mean, again, I told you all from the beginning, I've got 3 hours for me to ramble on. Okay, so I've got another 2 hours left, 2.5 hours left, so I'm going to continue rambling on. Um, so are the instructions on YouTube? Please let me know if the instructions to get on Jitsi are on YouTube and or on Facebook. I actually want to know, because I can't conceive that I put a comment on Facebook and all of a sudden I see a lot of responses. I see a lot of responses. And back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But now that I'm giving them an opportunity to come and debate me on Jitsi, nobody's getting on. Let's go. Nobody's getting on. All right, so let me know if in the description on Facebook, the instructions are there. If they're not, yes, on YouTube in the description box. Thank you, Blues Lady. Now Facebook, I don't know. Okay, that's fine if you can't. That's fine if you can't chat. Well, shoot. If you're I'm sorry, but if you're driving, it's a lot easier to speak. But yeah, I know you're gonna have to download and this and that. So for the next time, by the way, I might be doing this every Wednesday at noon. At noon, I get on Jitsi. Meet, and it's supposed to be for everybody to have discussions and open source on this Jitsi app every Wednesday at noontime Eastern time. Every Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time, we get on that same instructions that I have in the description box on YouTube. If you're on Facebook and it's not in the description, Go to my YouTube channel. It's called B75 Truth, and you can get there. But the instructions are there's a platform called Jitsi, Jitsi Meet, Jitsi Meet. On a mobile, you download the app. When it asks you for the room number, type in the call all together, no space, and it'll bring you in. You don't have to identify yourself. You can put a fake name. You don't have to register your email like Zoom. You don't have to register your email. You don't have to put in a password or anything like that. Just download the app, type in the room name, boom, you're in. And if you're on an PC or laptop, just type in the URL, meet, as in I meet you on Tuesday, meet.jit.si / the call all together, and boom, you're in. So far, crickets, nobody's jumping in. So, why Trump? Why Trump? Okay. The closer you get to social policies, okay, there's two extremes, right? There's the totalitarian communist extreme, right? Total communism. The state owns everything. Everything is rationed, right? Whatever the state, as a collective, whatever the state makes, supposing is distributed amongst everybody except for the dictator, right? They're the rich one, right? The state is the rich one, but everybody else is rationed, right? Oh, all you need is 3 pairs of underwear because you can wash every 3 days, and you'll have a pair of underwear for every day. Um, all you need is 3 pairs of socks because you can wash every 3 days. Whenever we're able to give you 4 a year, we'll give it to you. But in the meantime, we can only give you 3. Okay, each person right now we can only give you 2. What you call it? 2 pounds of rice per person per year per month. When we're able to give you another pound, we will, but that's all we can give you now. You can live with that, okay? You can't have a business. You can't have a business. The business is for the collective. It's for the people. That's the extreme, right? That's the extreme. That's why it's so laughable when they say that Trump is a communist and socialist. I'm like, what? Do you even know what the definition of a communist is? Have you read the Communist Manifesto? Have you heard it? It's on YouTube. It's on an audiobook. You can listen to it, so no excuse. And I encourage everybody to either read it or listen to it, so you can actually see what communism actually is. Written by Marx and Engel, I think the co-author was. Okay, so so it's laughable when they say that Trump is a communist. What the heck? And there's a difference between a communist and a dictator. You know, they kind of go hand in hand. However, it's not really the same thing. But anyway, so it's laughable when people say that Trump is a communist or a socialist. What the heck? Okay, so you have that extreme, or the other extreme is, um, free market. Everybody, it's on their own. No social help. 100% capitalism. If you're disabled, okay, and you can't work, you know, find, your family can help you, or as a collective, everybody can chip into some kind of fund or whatever and help or whatever. Uh, if you can't pay a hospital, if you break a leg or whatever, yeah, go to the hospital, but you got to pay it back. and so on and so forth. So you got that extreme, right? Total capitalism, small government, only certain laws, like the Constitution, keep the government small. And by the way, the other extreme is big government, total control of everybody's lives. The right side is, okay, small government, minimal laws, okay, minimal laws. Obviously, if you kill somebody, if you rape, whatever, blah, blah, you go to jail, things like that, protection, border protection, this and that. Very minimal laws, right? That's like the total right. Okay, so why Trump? Okay, because Trump is all about, he supports the First Amendment. Totally the opposite of the candidates on the other side, right? Oh, we have to control misinformation and disinformation. We have to battle a platform like Truth Social or X or this and that. Okay, out of that is trumping, no pun intended or pun intended, trumping the First Amendment, right? The First Amendment. Okay, what is a First Amendment? Who can name me? Uh, you know, who can name me the four things in the First Amendment? Because most people can't name it. Oh, thank you, Facebook user. Thank you. Okay, so thank you. Who can name me all four things that all the four rights that the First Amendment gives? Okay, so I'll get back to the First Amendment. So Trump supports the First Amendment. Harris and Waltz didn't support the First Amendment. Even though they say they're all about freedom or whatever, but you see Waltz out there. Oh yeah, we have to battle misinformation and disinformation. We have to shut them up. I'm paraphrasing. Okay, so Second Amendment. Okay, who of the candidates? Who of the candidates supports the Second Amendment? Okay, truthfully. Okay, so you heard Kamala, you heard her taking a home. I support um, gun buyback or assault rifle, a ban on assault rifles, buyback. When have you heard Trump talking about taking guns away or whatever, or rifles or machine guns? It doesn't matter. When have you heard Trump ever say that? I'll wait. I'll wait for any of you to tell me or to show me a video or something that he's actually saying something like that. Okay, so they talk about a dictator, right? Oh, Trump's a dictator and he's Hitler and blah blah blah. Okay, I actually one of the guys I was debating on one of my posts on Facebook, I gave him this challenge. Okay, I gave him a challenge. Let me see if I remember the 5 points that I gave him. I said, name one dictator in the history of humankind, no matter how far back, Romans, Egyptians, Chinese, whatever, name one dictator in history that one supports freedom of speech. Oh, I got nobody gave me the four rights of the First Amendment, so I guess I'm gonna have to say it right now. So name me a dictator in the history of humankind that supports freedom of speech, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of press, freedom of the press, and the freedom to redress our government for grievances. That's point number one. Point number two, name me a dictator that supports the people bearing arms. That supports the Second Amendment. Point number 3. Let me see if I remember. Shoot. Name me a dictator that in their inaugural speech, the first words out of his or her mouth are, from this moment forward, we're going to transfer the power from the government to you, the people. Point number 4. Let's see, what was the point number 4? Anyway, it was 5 points, whatever it was. They did what Democrats do best. Evade the question. Totally evaded the question. Like if I never asked the question, never addressed it. Why? Because they cannot. These are the qualities of actually. They were not able to name not one dictator in human history that had any of those 5 qualities. I'm still waiting. And I told the person, I'll wait, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Okay, thank goodness I haven't held my breath because I wouldn't be here having this conversation. And again, if you're listening, I'm live now. I challenge you to get on Jitsi and have a debate with me. And obviously, if you're a supporter, if you want to get on and talk some points, that'll be great as well. You know, but I actually want people that don't agree with me to get on and have a talk. So again, why Trump? Okay. Now his policies are all about shrinking government. Okay, and then you'll hear the left say, "Oh, he's gonna get rid of Social Security and welfare and food stamps and all that stuff and this and that for the low income people." But folks, that is the very reason why there's low income people, because of left side policy. Again, there's not, countries are not either extreme left or extreme right. There's everything in between. There's everything in between. But one thing I have seen is that the countries that get the closest to the left, I don't know if you're okay, this is my left. The countries that get the closest to the left are the closest they get, the more third world country they are. The closest they get to the right, the more thriving and flourishing the country is. And there's everything in between. So the more policies that tax the corporation, that put more regulations on the actual corporations that give jobs. Okay, the more they take away from the rich and give to the poor, the more of a non-thriving country it is. Okay, all you have to do is just look. You don't have to be an economist. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that. Okay, and then and the left is taking this so-called thriving economy and they're crediting it to Biden and Harris. No, it's actually because of Trump's tax cuts and the tariffs that, guess what, that they remained in place, that they kept in place. Hello, That is why the economy didn't go to complete shit. That's why it didn't go to complete crap. That's why it kind of held on a thread. That's why it held on. That's why it held on the thread. Okay. So again, why Trump? Because Trump, no matter what the left people say, he's not extreme right. He's not. Okay. So why Trump? Again, because the policies align um, with a thriving economy. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, okay, Trump has a degree in economy. I don't know if it's a bachelor's or a master's. It doesn't matter. Okay, he has a degree. He has an economics degree. Okay, he is. No matter what they say, he is a successful business person. People point to the 5, 6 bankruptcies that he's had. It doesn't matter. Okay, everybody has their downtime. You're gonna tell me every successful person, every celebrity, they've had their downtime, you know. But what made them successful was the persistence and the persistence and the uh, what's the word? The relentlessness of moving up, moving forward, moving forward until they get to the top. Okay, and everybody falls down, but it's about getting back up. Okay, and I'm not, and for the record, you know, even I have had 2 personal bankruptcies. The last one was 14 years ago. Okay, and right now, and not to boast about it or anything like that. Now my credit is almost spotless. Okay, and it's been like that for the last 13, 14 years. Okay, you learn from your mistake, so you can't judge a person, or somebody's business just because they've had six bankruptcies. Heck, all his hotels are still up and running. All his businesses are still up and running. And then they point to, oh yeah, but whatever the school, the Trump University, that was a failure. Okay, that's fine, but what about all his other successes? Okay, so you can't judge a person by that. So why Trump? Because of he's a successful business person, and at the end of the day, this country, I don't care what you left wing people say, what you lefties say, this country needs to be run like a business. You need a good negotiator, up there to be able to negotiate with all these other world leaders, etc. So people talk about these tariffs that he's gonna impose, and it's gonna um, uh, crash the economy. You'll see, and and one Facebook user posted, "Oh, I'm gonna put my bet on when Trump is gonna crash the economy and blah blah blah." It almost looks like Democrats or something are gonna get together and try to sabotage the economy for the next 4 years just to make Trump look bad and for people to vote, Democrats again. Why would you sabotage your own self just for political? Like I said earlier, make the best of it. Make the best of it like I did. Shoot, I made the best of it. So, and I apologize if I'm going to eat as I talk. But yeah, the tariffs. You know, we gotta see. We gotta see what happens. But here's the thing. Okay, we need to be. And I'm not a 100% nationalist per se. Okay, but okay, when you're in an airplane, when you're in an airplane, um, what's the first thing they tell you to do, right? If there's an emergency, even if you have your kids, right? Even if you have 5 kids on the plane, what is the first thing that they tell you to do? Put your mask on first, and then put the mask on to those that can't do it for themselves. Okay? Right now, why are we so dependent on foreign countries for our goods and services? Why? When we're totally capable, we have extremely genius and intelligent people that can make chips, that can manufacture chips, that can design chips. We have engineers. Okay, why do we have to import food? Why do we have to import fruits and vegetables? What the heck? Why can we not grow our own vegetables and be independent? Why can we not um, uh, manufacture our own goods? And shoot, yeah. If you like goods, if you like foreign goods, fine, buy it. But but why, if we can make our own cars, we can make our own cell phones, we can make our own computers, we can make our own laptop, etc. We can all these gadgets we can make it ourselves. In fact, I would bet that a grand majority of all those gadgets that are being mass produced overseas and imported into the United States were more than likely designed and invented by an American, and then the technology was stolen. I'm willing to bet that. So we could be, we could be self-independent, right? So why do we even need imports for? Okay. Now, my opinion, and I think that's what Trump's idea is, and that's what he's actually talked about, is that these tariffs are actually going to encourage, companies which I know about one. I can't name it because I forgot what the company was, but I know about one company that is already talking about moving production from China into the United States because Trump got elected. So it is already happening. You know, he hasn't even gotten inaugurated and taken office, and there's already positive impact going on. I mean, shoot, um, the wars overseas are already having talks about talking, about ending the wars, and the leftists they'll say, "Oh yeah, that's because Trump is so soft, and he's just going to give in to all their demands." Nope, I disagree. I disagree. And if you can tell me otherwise, again, I invite you to get on Jitsi. Nobody has gotten on Jitsi Meet yet. To have an open discussion with me. Okay, please. I want to have I want to talk by myself for the next 3 hours. Please get on. Whether you're a supporter, whether you agree with me on what I'm saying or not, get on Jitsi. The instructions are in the description, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, and have an open discussion with me. Yeah, you're going to be live. Everybody's going to listen, but don't be shy. Okay? Again, for all of those keyboard warriors out there, I invite you to get on. So far, crickets. Not one person has gotten on yet. It's on. And please, if you have tried to get on, and you haven't been able to, please let me know. I'll try. I know I'm driving, but I'll take a glance and try to read your message. As you can see, I'm still hands on. Both my hands are on the steering wheel, except when I reach out to grab me a grape. So good things are already happening. But yeah, we all need to get together. We all need to get together as as a country. And you know what? I walked the walk. When Biden was elected, yeah, I was super angry, especially of all the nefariousness that was going on. I don't care what you guys say. Okay, it was fishy. It was 2020. It was fishy, super fishy. And the very graph that was sent to me by a Democrat, that shows, he was trying to claim that, we need to investigate 2024. And I see the graph, and I'm like, what your graph is showing is that we need to investigate 2020. That's what's funny about it. You know, it shows 2012, right? And I'm talking about those that voted for Obama, for example. 2012, okay? It shows 2012, then it shows 2016. Those that voted for Hillary. Then it shows 2020, and then it shows 2024. Same level as 2016 and 2020 and 2012. 2020 is the one that needs to be investigated. What the heck? Where did all those votes come from? And they could say that, oh yeah, they still haven't counted the votes or whatever, 2024. How much more is it? Right now, Kamala is like at 70 mil or something, right? How much more is she going to get? More? Let's say 4 million. Still, okay, there was excitement amongst the women or whatever to go out and vote and this and that. But women in general, shoot, I voted for Trump, and you can claim that it was, oh yeah, but it was white women or whatever and this and that. A lot of black women voted for Trump too. Okay, but still, even if she ends up with 74 and Trump with 76 or something, because Trump is at 74 right now, he's right now at the same as 2020. Okay, and still California has they tabulated 63%. What the heck? Why are they taking so freaking long? What are they doing? Okay, right now they're at 67% or whatever. So I did the math this morning, and I think they've tabulated so far a total of, again, since I'm driving, I can't do the math exactly. I'm trying to remember. They've tabulated a total of, I think it's like 11 million or something, and they had tabulated 63% of that. So I think it's like 6 million, almost 7 million has gone, like 6 million something has gone for Kamala, and like 4.9, almost 5 has gone for Trump, right? Which the gap has shrunk in California. But anyway, it's like 58% versus 39%. So I did the math, and let's say that Kamala gets 68% of the votes, of the total votes, and Trump gets 39%. I think Kamala's going to gain something like 4 million more in California, and Trump about 2.6 million more, something like that, if I did the math. So, okay, let's say she ends up with 74, 75 million, because a lot more people actually got excited to go out and vote. And not to mention that the nefariousness of California, Arizona, and possibly, I don't know. But even if she ends up at 74, 75 million, okay, still, You're gonna tell me, you're gonna tell me that 14 million, in other words, you're gonna tell me that more people were excited to vote for Biden hiding in his basement that that didn't rally during 2020, 2019, and 2020. You didn't hear his his policies. He was hiding in a basement. You're gonna tell me that more people were excited to vote for Biden, that more Democrats were more excited to vote for Biden than Obama in 2008 and 2012? Are you serious? And then with all the joy and all the excitement that Kamala was creating, and I gotta hand it to her, within her base, she did create a lot of excitement, even though people were pissed off about the border, even though people were pissed off about the economy, even though people were pissed off at her invisibleness, if you will, during her whole 4 years. Okay, well, people got excited. So you're gonna tell me that more people got excited in 2020 to vote for Biden than Obama and Kamala? Really? Which election needs to be investigated? And I'm still, Trump won, and I'm still advocating for same day voting, paper ballots, and same day results. If other countries can tabulate votes, why could we not tabulate millions of votes as well? Especially with our system that each county can tabulate their own votes. Okay, so it's not like oh, the federal government is the one county out of 150 million votes in this country. No, it's county by county, right? There's no reason why we cannot go to paper ballots, same day voting, and same day results, same night results. There's no reason why we can't do that. Even if we have to open more booths, more polls, and et cetera, et cetera. No reason why we cannot do that. Okay, and only exceptions, extreme exceptions, like the military, deployed, the military, uh, extremely disabled people that, bedridden, um, paraplegic, etc. But even paraplegics, they can move around. What I feel they should do on the polls is that do like an express line for disabled, so that so they don't have to make the line, so they could just go in and out. There needs to be special accommodation for disabled people. Of course, those that are in the hospital, bedridden, or whatever, you know, I guess they can. My opinion, again, if you disagree with me, get on Jitsi and tell me. So again, why Trump? Why Trump? We already saw 4 years of his presidency. We already saw 4 years of his presidency, and it was great. It was a good 4 years. Except for the biological weapon that was casted upon us. And you could call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever. I have seen the evidence that has been presented and everything, and it's been talked about in congressional hearings. They've, uh, they've clobbered Anthony Fauci about it. And the evidence is there. Okay, so yeah, 2020 was a rough year. But why are we gonna blame Trump on it? Somebody said that, oh, he didn't have knowledge. He didn't have enough knowledge um, you know to to handle COVID, properly, whatever, this and that. Who had knowledge during that time of what the heck we were up against? Nobody had knowledge of what we were up against. You know, so why Trump? We had a thriving 4 years during that time. Now, I cringe. I kind of cringe whenever he says that, and so you could see that I'm unbiased. Okay, I cringe when he says that. Oh, that it was the best economy in the history of the United States ever, and this and that, and blah blah blah. I disagree with that. I totally disagree. What happened with the Industrial Revolution? What happened during the gold rush and the Industrial Revolution? Those were extremely thriving times. But here's why: the reason why those times were thriving times was because it was, I believe, when it comes to the market, it was the freest, less restrictive, less regulated, more open uh, commerce time in the United States that we've heard. I mean, it was a good combination, of course. During the Revolutionary War and the War of Independence and things like that, those were, when the Constitution was written, those were free times. But it wasn't a thriving nation yet until the Industrial Revolution, etc. So I do cringe whenever he says that, because the national debt was not being paid down. If you tell me that the national debt is starting to be paid down, okay, then you can tell me that it was a strong, uh, one of the strongest economies ever. Now, mind you, the things that need to be done, and we have to do whatever it takes to do, is that we need to balance the budget. The left, the Democrats, the way they see about balancing the budget is to raise taxes on the rich. But the math does not add up. Okay, it's been done by experts. The math does not add up. You could tax the rich 100% of their income, and shoot, you can even tax them 100% on their assets if you want to. It will not pay down the debt. It will not. It will not balance the budget. It will not. How is it that? How is it that it takes a deficit of $1 trillion a quarter to run the government? And for those of you that don't know what a deficit is, it means that it's taking more money than the revenue you're taking in to run X, to run your business, to run the government. In other words, they are borrowing $1 trillion a quarter to run the government. What the fuck? And then the Democrats are talking about, they're talking about, oh yeah, handouts, 25,000 for to buy a home, and Free healthcare for everybody. Wipe out all the student loans. What the hell? Where is that money going to come from? Where is that money going to come from if we already have a $1 trillion deficit? Again, you could tax the rich 100%, and it won't even cover the current deficit that we have. And you're still gonna hand out. You know, you're still gonna where are you gonna pull that money from? Obviously, by printing money, aka borrowing more money. So you know what? Okay, it's good. You know, I hope Elon Musk, and by the way, since he's running the successful, the possibly the most successful, or one of the most successful businesses in the world. Okay, I don't know, I don't know if Google or Facebook or whatever, you know, but then again, that's digital. Shoot, Elon Musk built shit, but I really hope that he actually goes in and cuts unnecessary spending. Okay, we'll try to not touch Social Security because I mean Trump has said clearly that he's not going to touch Social Security or whatever. Whether he says something and does something else, my opinion is not known for that. But whether he says something and does something else is a different story. D. Ross, not all the money. And by the way, good to see you, D. Ross. It's been a while. It's not all the money because you know, at least on paper, what has been sent to Ukraine so far? What like what it is? Like 300 million or billion? Sorry, 300 billion. Holy smokes, we're talking billions here. 300 billion, 500 billion, whatever. Hello? Yeah. Oh, it's not a good time. Can you call me? Let me see. Can you call me in about 2 hours? I'm driving. I'm driving, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Wait. Who's this? Oh, okay. Um, yeah, yeah. Call me in about 2 hours. Thank you. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Um, so whatever it is, you know, whatever it is, 300 billion. I don't know what they have sent. It's nowhere near, you know, the whole budget. It's a small percentage, and yes, that's one of the things that we need to oversight. You know, that's one of the things that we need to oversight. You know, we need to settle the war. That's it. Whatever. And you know what? You know, there should be a committee. You know, I hope that Trump um, forms a committee to investigate what all those funds were used for, where did they go, etc. Because I think we have the right. We have the right to know what those funds were used for, because we're the ones giving them the funds. We have the right with FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, the Freedom of Information Act. We have the right to know what Ukraine used those funds for? Where did all that money go? So I hope that there's an oversight committee that investigates, where all that money has gone. It is our fucking money, all right? No matter if it was borrowed and this and that, at the end of the day, we're gonna have to pay that back or declare bankruptcy, and that'll be the end of America. The dollar will go to shit. Other countries are going to dump the dollars. They're not going to hold the dollars as a reserve anymore. So, overnight we'll lose the status of the world reserve currency, and so on and so forth. So we don't want to do that. We're just going to have to work our, for the next generation. We're going to have to work our asses off to pay that back. Okay, we don't want to default on that on the debt. Okay, so I really hope that Elon Musk balances the fuck out of that budget, creates a surplus, a real surplus, not a fake surplus that Bill Clinton talks about. Look at the numbers yourself. Don't go, and again, don't go by what you hear. Don't go by anything. Look at the numbers yourself, because I have done it. I have gone back. I have seen, during Clinton's time, because he claims that, oh, there was a surplus, there was a surplus, there was a surplus. There was no surplus. He's lying. There was no surplus. There was a surplus in the Social Security fund, where they were taking in more Social Security than what they were paying out. But that's not the case now. And it's impossible for it to be the case, because now, with all the baby boomers retiring and taking in the Social Security checks, the workforce cannot, fund Social Security enough to fund all the baby boomer retirees. Okay, but anyways, going back to looking at the numbers yourself. So during Clinton, the national debt still went up every single year that he was in office. Okay, it went up small. I hand it to him. It went up a little bit, right? It went up a little bit. I mean, the smallest it went up during his years, and I think it was one of the last years. I'm working on memory. One of the last years, the national debt went up. I think it was 300 billion or something. It wasn't a trillion, right? I think it went like 300 billion or 50 billion. I don't know. You guys can look it up. That's what I'm saying. Look up information yourself. But still, what that means, if the national debt was going up, it means that there was still a deficit. He did not balance the budget like he said he did. He was working on it, but it took him 8 years. It took him 8 years, and he still didn't balance the budget. Okay, so I really hope that Elon Musk creates a surplus. Okay, and that Trump's policies, actually brings up the GDP, because we cannot afford to grow. We cannot afford. Here's another thing: we cannot afford to grow 2 to 3% GDP. We cannot afford it, because we're paying more in interest to service the debt. And by the way, to my understanding, if the numbers are correct, okay, it is taking to service our total debt, because you got the national debt and you got the international debt, or the total debt, or whatever. It's taking $1 trillion in interest just to pay interest on our total debt. How the heck? Okay, I'm gonna try to not talk French now. How the heck can we survive on a 2 or 3% GDP growth a year. It's the math does not add up. That is why the national debt keeps going up and up and up and up, and it's growing exponentially. For those of you that don't know, exponentially means that one year it'll grow a trillion, and the following year it'll grow 1.2 trillion, then 1.5 trillion, then 2 trillion, then 2.5 trillion, then 4 trillion. Like that, it starts to grow exponentially. For your information, okay? And I don't mean to insult any of your intelligence, whether you agree with me or not or whatever. I'm just saying, in layman's terms, that is what exponential growth is. Okay, so now exponential. Uh, uh, shoot, what's the opposite of growth? Exponential loss, or if you can help me out here, but yeah, exponential loss. Well, it works the same way as well. Um, like for example, we can pay down the debt exponentially as well. It can work the opposite way as well. So I really hope the budget is balanced. But again, I believe that by bringing manufacturing and production back to the United States, I truly wholeheartedly believe that the tariffs are going to do that. It's an incentive to bring all the manufacturing back to the United States. Yes, initially, all the products that we love and this and that we're used to, they're going to get more expensive. All the imported products are going to get more expensive. But the manufacturers are going to come back to the United States, create more jobs. By creating more jobs, it creates more competition. Salaries are going to go up. They're going to skyrocket. We're going to be able to afford the the so-called higher prices of the import products, but that's also going to give an incentive to buy American. And you know what? You know, uh, I don't think that we should be 100% nationalist. I don't think so. We have to do some kind of trade. Have some kind of trade. And I'm sure Trump gets up there and he spurts out a whole bunch of numbers. Oh, 1,000% tariff, 100% tariff, 1,000% tariff. At the end of the day, he's gonna sit down, look at the numbers, and obviously, he's gonna start with, and I'm just gonna throw numbers. I'm pretty sure he's gonna start with 10% or 15% tariffs. Then that's probably gonna give some incentive to bring some companies down. Then he's gonna test the waters. I mean, that's what I would do. I would test the waters, start small, and kind of like give the companies an incentive to come back to the United States. If that doesn't work, then bring it up a little bit. He's gonna test the waters. He's not just gonna jump in. That's why it's laughable how all these so-called experts are saying, "Oh, Trump's tariffs are gonna, cost the average American $5,000 or $6,000 more a year, blah blah blah, this and that." Yeah, that's if we continue to buy imported stuff. But we can make our own food. We can grow our own food. We don't have to have food imported. And at the end of the day, a lot of these toys that we buy are not necessary for us to live. They're wants. There are wants that we have. Yeah, we want to buy the Audi. Yeah, we want to buy the Ferrari and the Lamborghini. Yeah, we want to buy, the Honda, the the Kias, whatever. Yeah, we want to buy all those. For those of you that like those models, yeah, we want to buy those things. But a lot of our ideas, a lot of our innovation has been stolen, if you will, and our foreign countries are reaping the benefits of our innovation and our engineering and our inventions and our ideas. And, and again, I don't know how many of you are out there, but if you want to have a discussion, whatever, because I honestly didn't think I was gonna ramble and talk for the whole 3 hours. If you're just jumping in, I said in the beginning that I have a 3 hour lapse of time to talk and ramble, and but if you want to have a discussion and chime in, the instructions are in the description, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Going into Jitsi, I have it on. Of going into Jitsi Meet and actually have a discussion. So, so please, I invite you to come and have a discussion, whether you agree with me or not. I actually want to talk to somebody who doesn't agree with me. And by the way, multiple people can jump into that platform. It doesn't have to be one person. Multiple people. I mean, I've had as much as they say that you can have as much as 100 people on there because it's like a Zoom type platform. It's a Zoom type platform that is it's open source. It's encrypted, so you won't have Big Brother, Big Tech breathing down your neck, listening to what you're saying in uh in that platform. Uh, you could come in anonymously. You could put in a fake name. I don't care. You could put in your handle. Um, you don't have to register. You don't have to register an email. You don't have to register a password. So it is a great way to assemble, if you will. It's a great way to join and have discussions, as opposed to Zoom, that you have big tech breathing down your neck, listening to what you say. Anyways, please, I invite you to come in and let's have a discussion. So give me 1 second. My throat is getting dry. Man, I don't know how all these podcasters can just talk for so freaking long, etc. So Trump 2024, again, why Trump? Okay. And shoot, I could probably even talk about some of the views I don't agree with. I don't agree with you. Sorry. So yeah, I cringe when he says that he had the best economy. It was great. Don't get me wrong, it was great. But overall, I don't think it was the best. Um, and the reason why, and people talk about, oh yeah, Trump, um, he cut taxes only for the rich. What the heck? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. All he did was cut. He correct me if I'm wrong. There's probably other things he did, but what really hit home is that he cut corporate taxes. Mind you, I run a corporation. I do have employees. Okay, not many. I have drivers, but um, I do have employees. So I do run a corporation. I do run an S corp, and for those that for those uninformed people, okay, look at the tax policy. All it did was that it went from a bracket system that the more you earn, the more, percentage of taxes you earn. The more you earn, more percentage taxes you earn. The higher your bracket, the more taxes you pay. Sorry, the more taxes you pay. All it did was it brought down taxes to 21%, corporate taxes to 21% all across the board. That is all it did. So yeah, it cut a lot of taxes to the corporations, to the million and billion dollar corporations. But it's relative, okay? Because it cut taxes for me too, and big. So for me, it is big because in my bracket, under the previous Obama tax system, I would have paid I would have paid 28% under my bracket. I would have paid 28% taxes, but yet I'm paying 21% taxes. Okay. Again, why Trump? Why cut taxes if we have such a deficit? Right. What taxes does is that it gives innovators. I'm not saying I'm an innovator. I'm just an old dumb truck driver. Okay, that just happens to have you know multiple trucks running. Right. What does the tax cuts do for corporations? They're able to take that money, reinvest in the corporation, grow the company, employ more people. More people pay taxes. You know, more people pay into Social Security. So it actually brings the tax, and I'm going to say tax confiscation. I'm not going to say because it's not revenue. Revenue is is a corporation's income, a company's income that produces something. What the hell does a government produce? Zero, zip, nada. The government produces shit, nothing. The government is supposed to be there to protect us, to protect our borders, to have a military. Read the preamble, that's what the government is supposed to have. They don't produce anything. So that's why we got to shrink the government, just enough to have a strong military, strong borders, and protect the welfare, the well being of the American people and our allies, if you will, or whatever, but to protect the American people. So there's a statistics that says that for every dollar that is cut in taxes in a corporation, 67 cents of it goes to salary, goes to employees' salary. I would suppose that the other 33% goes to more profit and reinvestment, and equity and reinvestment in the business. I think he also learned a lot the first 4 years. It will be even better now and not make the same mistakes he made before with the wrong people surrounding you. Yeah, yeah, of course. Remember, he wasn't a politician before. All right, D. Ross, take care. Will do. Thank you. You be safe out there too. But yeah, that is correct. He learned a lot his first 4, and then he spent the next 4 years, um, you know, developing his game plan. So you know what? Yeah, the last 4 years have been a freaking disaster. They have been. It has been a disaster. But let's see the positive of what's going to come out of it. And it's easy for somebody like me or anybody to say that let's see the positive of what happened because we have parents that lost their children because of criminal illegal aliens. Yeah, notice I said in front of criminal illegal aliens. Criminal illegal aliens. Okay. A lot of illegal aliens, they crossed over, illegally, looking for a better life or whatever. well, but still, they came in illegally. Am I back? Sorry about that. So yeah, uh, it's kind of easy for somebody like me to say, let's see the positive of the last 4 years, but my heart goes out to the parents that lost a child, lost a parent, um, lost their businesses, whole 9 yards, but especially those that lost a child in the hands of uh, a criminal illegal alien that wasn't supposed to cross over, that were released. Okay, but let's see the positive in the sense that unfortunately this had to happen so that a lot of left side Democrats, and I've known a couple and I've seen it with my own eyes, a few that voted Democrat across the board or have been voting Democrat for years, they finally voted red this time around. I can tell you of one right off the top of my head. I mean, I know there's a few, but right off the top of my head, I could tell you one. Okay, to finally realize the piece of shit. I'm not talking about Democrats in general. What the Democrat Party has become. Okay, this is not the JFK Democrat Party. This is not even the Jimmy Carter Democrat Party. You know, and I'll be safe to say, and I know how most of you feel about Bill Clinton or whatever, and I'm safe to say this is not the Bill Clinton Democrat Party. Okay, okay. Obama started some, you know, it all started with Obama. The Obama, it started going to crap during the Obama years, I think. But geez, but unfortunately, this had to happen so that a lot of Democrats can realize, that Trump's years were good. We had crappy years during Biden and Harris, and it took 4 years. And yeah, unfortunately, Trump is older now. But he'll do well. He looks like he's in pretty good shape, pretty good health. So, and uh, provided national security, secret services protect them well. We should have Trump for the next 4 years. But unfortunately, this had to happen so that people can realize and take for granted, and they took for granted Trump's 4 years, despite 2020. So, so tax cuts. Okay, I'm gonna say again, this administration, Biden-Harris administration, is enjoying the thriving economy of the tax cuts because it's a good thing that the bill was set to expire. And wow, that was like super smart from Trump. The bill is set to expire was set to expire through the Biden-Harris administration. So they couldn't take it off. That's a good thing. Okay, so that is why they're enjoying a thriving, uh, semi-thriving economy, which they threw to shit. It could have been way better, but they threw to shit with all this, uh, the infrastructure bill, uh, the Inflation Reduction Act. They, and Kamala, she campaigned on that Trump blocked the border bill, but they're being so sneaky that they're trying to slip in a whole bunch of other crap that has nothing to do with the border and make it seem like it was a border bill. And I don't understand why Trump didn't address that of how bad the border bill was. But he fell into the freaking trap that and I gotta hand it to not Kamala, but her her campaign or whatever. I gotta hand it to her that they told her that whenever she finished speaking, to say something that would hit Trump's ego, so he could talk about that and not address her and not address the policy. I gotta hand it to her. That was pretty smart in her sense. I still I I still think my opinion and an opinion of a lot that Trump won that debate on substance, because they would have fact checked both of them um, fairly, equally. Okay, uh, it would have been totally clear that Trump won that debate. That's why I saw the debate and I was like, damn, he's clobbering her. And I saw the debate, and then when I saw, Trump lost the debate, Kamala won, and even, Republicans were saying that he lost. I'm like, what? He didn't lose that debate, you know? And all she did was just, she memorized the whole thing because whenever they asked her a question, she would just start rambling, with memorized script that had nothing to do with answering the question. That's what people don't realize. So she lost that debate. So, sorry. So going back, so Biden Harris is enjoying a growing economy. Well, what does a growing, what you know, what does it mean or whatever that the GDP is growing, 2+%, 3%, if inflation is either at par, or if we take the total inflation, the total 4-year inflation of the Biden Harris, it grew. There was more inflation than there was GDP growth. So it really doesn't matter if there was GDP growth. Okay, and people don't understand that the inflation was more due to the printing of money, the injection of money into the economy, which is why it was a bad idea for Obama. It was a bad idea for Obama to bail out. It was a bad idea for Obama to bail out the banks, to bail out GM, to bail out, because all it did was it borrowed money from from us, from the government, from not the government but the Federal Reserve. Mind you, for those of you who don't know, the Federal Reserve is not a government entity; it's a private entity. So they borrowed money from the Federal Reserve to inject back into the economy, and it was a bad idea because that created inflation, whatever, this and that. Thank goodness that Trump took office and he ameliorated that, that inflation or whatever. But people don't understand that the printing of money. The more money you print, the less valuable the dollar is. So the more dollars it takes to buy the same product. People don't understand that. Um, so so those are some of the reasons of why Trump. Okay, because the policies will flourish the economy, flourish. The United States. It will stop the wars. It'll he'll stop. He's gonna stop the wars, etc. So so I don't know. I mean, any suggestions? I'm here. I've been rambling for what, about almost 2 hours. Give me a second. Some of the views I don't agree with. Um, I know he's talked about anti-Semitism. Now, anti-Semitism, in other words, anti-hate speech, should be it should be restricted or banned, whatever, all across the board. Hate speech against anybody. Doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter if you're a Jew. Doesn't matter if you're a minority. Doesn't matter if you're black. Doesn't matter if you're Latin. You should There should not be any type of hate speech at all. It should be condemned. But 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 talking, in other words, talking, saying something about people, or saying your own opinion, it should not be restricted, because that would be a violation of the First Amendment. Like, for example, I think it was in Louisiana or whatever, that they banned anti-Semitism. Now, what that does is just going to give a green light for the authorities to say, let's say you said, a Jew stole my money, whatever. Oh, that's anti-Semitism. You're going to jail. Okay, well, what the heck? What happened to freedom of speech? You know, so uh, that's one of the things I can think of. I mean, we could get into the discussion of abortion if you want. Maybe that'll spark somebody to jump into Jitsi and have a discussion with me. Um, just for the record, I'm not, and I've said this before publicly. I'm not religious. I'm not. You could say I'm a borderline atheist. Okay, but I am spiritual, if you will. In other words, I believe scientifically there's more to life than meets the eye. Where was I going with this? Um, what don't I agree with? Oh, abortion. So 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 a Christian, or a religious person or whatever will see, at conception, life begins at conception. Okay, and if that's the case, we could argue the point that life begins, or the potential for life begins before conception. It begins, when with the sperm and the egg, right? So I'm in favor. I'm in favor of, let's say, early term abortion. I mean, I'm not in favor of using it as a contraceptive, but I'm more in favor of early term abortion, than I am of abortion, right? The question is, okay, the question is, at what point is that fetus, or that potential for life, a human being that needs to be protected by society? At what point is that baby so developed enough that not even the mother has the right against the child? Of course, of course, if we were to choose between the life of the mother and the life of the child in a medical emergency, of course, we need to prioritize the life of the mother and see if we can save the child later. Okay, but all these but all these other support for oops, I made an oopsie. Let me go get a an abortion. I don't agree with it. Have responsible sex, have protected sex, etc. Okay. Now, there's this lady I saw not too long ago on YouTube that uh, explained some statistics. Okay, one of the statistics, I forgot what country it was. It was a country that had extreme, in other words, a total abortion ban. In other words, abortion does not exist at all unless it's a medical emergency. And a topic pregnancy, etc. Blah blah blah. Okay, in that country, uh, in that country, the death of a mother due to pregnancy or due to childbirth is basically non-existent. Okay, because all these Democrats, all these lefties are talking about, oh, the medical rights of a woman or whatever, and this and that. Folks, more women die because of uh, because of a choice of abortion. More women die because of choosing to do an abortion, whether they had medical attention or not, than than not than not having an abortion. As soon as it's fertilized and a fetus, which means little human, in Greek, at 22 weeks, can live outside the womb. At 22 weeks, okay, right. Um, but I would say way before that. I mean, another thing. At what point does that child feel pain? At what point is that child? You know what I mean? So anyway, so more women die because of choosing to have an abortion than because of a medical emergency. So I kind of don't. I My solution would be, to define a human being. Let's define a human being. Okay, at what point is that baby a human being that is capable of being conscious, that is capable of feeling pain, etc.? At what point is is that potential uh, that potential fetus or embryo a human being? Because if we define that as a human being, if we define at a certain point, at what point is that a human being? If we just eliminate any type of abortion bans, the government should not. I believe that the government should not get into, because I believe in freedom. Okay, I am what they call a real liberal. Okay, because I believe in freedom, in liberty, in that sense. Okay, the government should not impose on a medical decision. Now, at what point is that a human being? At 16 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, 20 weeks, 22 weeks? I don't know. Now, when we define at what point is a fetus a human being, now we can use the laws of murder. Okay? So yeah, a doctor can be, a doctor can be nefarious or whatever, and you know, and let's say a woman says, oh, you know, I have this upsie, and by the way, we'll talk about rape and incest and all of that in a minute. But oh, uh, you know, I got an upsie, you know, doctor, what can I do? I don't want to have this baby. Well, I could put here that it was an ectopic pregnancy, and I need bored, and this and that, and blah blah blah. You know, and that it was necessary to save your life, and this and that, and we tried to save the fetus. They could probably do that, okay? Because at the end of the day, no matter what, the mother's life should be first, unless she chooses to say, "Kill me and 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 save my baby." You know, in that sense, I think it should be her choice. So what? Unless she says it, I don't know how to do it. I mean, I can't even be. It is a very um, difficult subject. It is super difficult. I get it. You know, and you know, so I don't believe in a total abortion ban. You know, at all. You know, like 6 weeks. I don't know. I mean, 6 weeks is very. So, but if we define at what point is that fetus a human being, I think that'll solve all the problems. Now, rape. The laws against rape have been way too soft. Okay, that is the problem. Okay. Oh, what about a woman that got raped? And I hate to say that word. That got molested, all right, or a child that got molested, right? Um, the solution is not abortion. The solution are stronger laws against rape. I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna get a ding on what I'm gonna say, but let me see how I say it so I don't get a freaking ding. If there's a law that says if you rape, if you molest, um, you'll get, you know what, with no anesthesia, and it has to be proven, obviously. You know, there has to be uh, undeniable, without a shadow of a doubt, that you did it, right? That this person did it. Beyond the reasonable doubt that you did it, whether it's through DNA, whether it's through whatever, a camera, whatever, no answers or buts, no anesthesia. How about that? You're going to see how that is going to stop. It is going to stop. What's your opinion about that? Oh, and even incest. What's your opinion about that? Get on Jitsi. Let me know. So that's my take on it. You know, and you know they're trying to blame Trump for overthrowing Roe versus Wade, and this and that. You know what? Eh, you know, the left tries to say that they are, you know, pro-Constitution, that they abide by the Constitution and this and that, but it's only if it's to their favor. Oh, what part did I leave off in, Linda? It's only if it's to their favor, because Roe v. Wade was unconstitutional. That is the reason why it was overturned. It wasn't overturned because Trump appointed, you know, extreme right conservatives as Supreme Court justices and so on and so forth. And they're trying to make it seem like like Trump specifically appointed those judges to overthrow Roe v. Wade. Really? Where's your evidence of that? Where's your evidence of that? So Roe v. Wade was unconstitutional, and the Supreme Court, as unbiased as they're supposed to be, unpolitically bound, are supposed to be. Oh, I didn't understand what you said. But the Supreme Court is supposed to interpret or make a decision based on the Constitution. Based on the Constitution, they uphold they uphold the Constitution. They uphold an oath. They're supposed to uphold an oath. Every single public servant is supposed to. They take an oath to the Constitution for the United States of America, not of, for the Constitution for the United States of America. The organic 1787 Constitution with the Bill of Rights of 1791. That Constitution are the ones that they are supposed to uphold. All public servants, including judges, including Supreme Court justices, whole 9 yards. And we see that violation all the time. Why are we not? Why are we not holding our public servants accountable for violating the Constitution? And I invite you every Wednesday. I don't know if I made the announcement or not. Every Wednesday, I'm on this. Every Wednesday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, I'm on this JIT.si platform along with a couple of other people to discuss things like this. I invite all of you, whether you agree with us or not. I believe that most Democrats agree with the Constitution. I believe that. I wholeheartedly believe that. They're just being misled. And even Republicans, a lot of Republicans are being misled of what the Constitution is. Okay? One thing I disagree with Trump, for the freaking record. That's where I was going. Okay? I disagree with putting Bibles back into the classroom, or unless you're going to study it as a literature, kind of like when we study Greek mythology and so on and so forth. If we can they can study it as literature, fine, but not that it's the truth or anything like that. They can study it as literature. I'm going to openly say it. I might get backlash because of it, but I don't agree with putting, the Bible and the 10th Amendments and so on and so forth back in the classroom. Okay, that's where separation of state and church come in. The founding fathers, yes, they might have founded this country upon Christian principles per se, or religious principles. To my understanding, they were Masons. I don't know, but uh, but uh, but there needs to be, in other words, the First Amendment. The reason why the founding fathers, the First Amendment, the first Bill of Rights. Okay, again, I asked you folks earlier to name the four rights in the First Amendment. Okay, one of them being freedom of religion. Okay, listen to the word freedom of religion. Yes, maybe their thinking or their purpose was that they were being persecuted for the religion. Uh, for the religion coming from the British, right? Something along that line. But notice that the First Amendment does not say freedom of Christian religion. It says freedom of religion. What does that mean? Is that you should be free to exercise whatever religion you want, as long as it doesn't hurt another human being in the sense of sacrifice and the like. Okay, freedom of religion. That's why. That's what my different views are with Trump, for example. Okay, so sorry to go a little bit on a tangent, but let's go back to abortion. So I don't know. Miss Linda said that she didn't hear everything, but I don't know if you heard me say what the solution of rape would be. I kind of like probably don't want to say it again, but I think you all got the gist of it. If by any chance I got cut off, I would say the solution would be um, harsh prosecution against rapists and incest and all that stuff, including surgery, if you know what I mean, without anesthesia. You'll see how, because people will talk about, oh, what about the human rights of the human, right? Yeah, what about the human rights of the victim? The victim didn't choose to be a victim. The criminal chose to take away the rights of somebody else. So why are you so worried about the human rights of the criminal? What about the human rights of the victim? So that would be the solution to that. So you do that, okay? It'll automatically possibly uh, eliminate a big percentage. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but it'll eliminate a big percentage of abortion in this country. Okay, and I believe in freedom and liberty, but I do believe in don't do harm. Okay, and if you do, there should be consequences. Because if there's no consequences and you have a tendency to do harm, you will continue to do it. Those type of people will continue to do harm, whether they might need some kind of psychological or psychiatric help or so on and so forth. That's then you take them into an institution to help them or whatever and this and that. But but if they have that tendency to do harm, they will continue to do harm. A lot of that will be eliminated. A lot of that will be eliminated. Um, so nobody on abortion. Can we go on to the next subject? Nobody wants to jump on Gypsy and talk directly with me. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Maybe it's Saturday and everybody's out partying. I don't know. But I'm so surprised that a couple of the individuals that were spending the whole day, a couple of individuals that were spending the whole day, going back and forth with me, typing for 2 or 3 days, almost in a row, typing and putting comments on my posts on Facebook and stuff like that, have not made a comment here and have not gone on Jitsi to verbally debate with me. I find that puzzling, because if they have the time to get on and type all these, spend the whole day typing or whatever, if they have the time to do that, then they certainly have the time to get on this platform and have a live debate in front of, I don't know how many people might have on. I don't know, 10 people, 5, 15. I don't know. Y'all tell me. To practice religion. Okay, Miss Linda, we can agree. We can agree to disagree. I suppose that you were disagreeing with me in bringing Christianity to the schools. Ah, okay, okay, okay. I mean, yeah, bring it in as a literature book, in my opinion. But um, but hey, you know, at least I'm being honest on my views, because I who knows how many people, for the fear of getting backlash or getting pushback uh, or shame, you know, would be ashamed to say that they have doubts on a creator, or they have doubts, or that they are full blown atheists. I don't know. Some people are quiet about it, but you know what? I can't sit here and be a hypocrite and say, yeah, I believe and this and that. I am open minded, though. The reason why I don't believe is that um, I don't see any evidence. I honestly don't see any evidence. Yeah, there's questions on how the universe started. I mean, we pretty much know, as far as scientists is concerned, we pretty much know how the solar system was formed, how the Earth was formed through accretion, et cetera, because we're able, at least scientists claim that we're able to see other solar systems forming or whatever. Um, but it's totally out of line. At least the Bible is out of line to what is observed on how everything was created. So so again, I don't. That's the reason why I just don't see any evidence. I'm not mad at God or anything like that. However, I do believe in some type of spirituality, if you will, or consciousness. Seeing it on a scientific point of view, I believe in some kind of, like, in other words, that what we see with or what we feel with our 5 or 6 senses that we have is not everything. There's a lot of unanswered questions on consciousness. There's a lot of unanswered questions on even, you know and even how the universe was formed, or even how the universe even works. There's a lot of things about dark matter and this and that we don't understand. But it just doesn't mean that, oh, God did it. You see, God exists. I don't see the evidence. I mean, that is the reason why I am non-religious. Um, but I believe that everybody's in their own path, and everybody should have the freedom to practice and to think the way they do, as long as this is what I was doing. As long as you don't hurt anybody else. Okay, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. And me being, a borderline vegan, I also believe in not hurting any sentient being, including animals, including conscious animals like cows, like pigs, chickens, etc. Conscious animals. So I'm a believer in that. And I believe that if we do harm to others, Okay, one way or another, whether there's an afterlife or this life or whatever, it will come back to us, kind of like karma type thing. I don't think that that's woo woo, voodoo, not voodoo, woo woo type thing or whatever, spiritual type thing. I think that there's more to nature than what we observe. So, so that is the reason why I feel that way. Because to push one religion as truth in a school and undermine all the other religions, the Muslims, the Hindus, the Buddhists, all the other religions, you know, yeah, how are they going to feel? If you're going to push a Christian, now, if you want to take your child to a Christian school that's going to push that on your child, that's your choice. If you want to take your child to a Hindu school, that's your choice. Let it be private. Okay, private school. We should. I believe we shouldn't fund. A Christian school like taxes, right? We shouldn't fund Christian schools. We should stick to the facts. Stick to the facts, man. The facts, right? And teach children how to read, how to do math, science. Uh, History starts getting murky because I believe that children can learn history on their own. You know, um, we should teach what is. We should teach what is confirmed. Like recent history shows us, that there was racism and segregation in this country in the 20th century. There was slavery prior to the 20th century. There's still probably slavery going on in other countries, etc. But but those are things that should be taught in school. In other words, facts. Hardcore facts. The alphabet, reading, literature that actually exists, and yeah, we can get into interpreting literature and and subjectively interpreting literature, etc., and this and that. Um, you know, okay, so we have the Bible. Let's read the Bible. Let's interpret it. We have the Greek mythology. Let's read it. Let's interpret it. We have Egyptian hieroglyphics. Let's read about it. Let's interpret it, etc., etc. In other words, the literature that we do have, teach kids about it. Science, anatomy. You know, Whenever it's appropriate, whenever it's age appropriate, this is the body. This is how it works. These are all the parts of the body. Blah blah blah. This and that. In other words, objective education should be taught to our children. And I don't mind funding because education is important. Education is important for a country to thrive. So that type of education, objective education. Everything else could be subjective. Civics, thank you. Civics. Um, uh, Correct. Yes, civics. How the government works. American government, whatever. Objective. The Constitution. Um, oh, teach how money works. Finances. We need to teach children how money works, especially here in the United States. We need to teach them how the money system works, the history of the money system, etc. That is very important too. Yeah, that is very important too. But you know, uh, gender inequality and blah 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 and this and that should not be taught because that is, that is not. Sorry, folks. I'm a little distracted here. I'm in traffic. But that should not be taught. Maybe in the sense of, hey, this exists. However, we were born with an XY and an XX chromosome. Yes, there are cases of hermaphrodites. There's other medical cases. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I don't know about that much about that. But yeah, there's cases of different levels of testosterone, different levels of estrogen. But just teach children that it exists. Look, these things exist. Okay, but not push it on them. Not tell them, oh, you can identify. If you're a boy, you can identify as a girl. If you're a girl, identify as a boy. No, that's not the definition of a boy. That's not the definition of a girl. That's not the definition of a male. That's not the definition of a female. Okay, where they're trying to change the definition. All that wokeness, they're trying to change the definition of the English language. What is a male? Okay, a human being that was born with an XY chromosome, that has that has parts to be able to uh, procreate and everything. Give me 1 second, folks. Yes, sir. Yes, yes. Yeah. Should be about maybe 20, 25 minutes out. Yeah, sorry I'm a little late. I know I told you I was going to be around 5, but you know, sure. Um, oh, no. I don't think we need to take. We could just sit and probably talk. We'll get more into the logistics, I guess, tomorrow. The truck and everything. I mean, if you wanna go see the truck tonight or whatever, we can do that. Sure, sure thing. Sure. Yeah. Well, we'll meet you. We'll meet now that I get there, and, uh, and then we'll meet early tomorrow and just cover some logistics and stuff, and then uh, and then you'll be on your way. There won't be much. There's not much that I'm gonna require of you. The W4, yeah, correct. Very, very good. Yes. You're welcome, buddy. Sorry, folks. Do you hear me? Hola, Ramón. Ah, Ramón, digo, Román. Tanto tiempo. ¿Cómo están? So yeah, you know, so going way back to why Trump and especially going back to the economy, the the more far left you go, the more the country, the further left the country goes. All we gotta do is just observe um, all over all over the world. The more third world country they become, and I have a theory on that, and I'm pretty sure it should be obvious, but I have a theory on that. My theory, my theory is that when you have a communist country that whatever you do is for the collective. Okay, I can summarize it in one word or 3 words. People get lazy. One word: laziness. In other words, if you're being provided, if you're being provided for, your basic needs or whatever, then what incentive does a doctor have in, unless they believe wholeheartedly in the system? What incentive does a doctor have to spend 12, 15 years, studying medicine, to go to the workforce, if you will, and earn the same, and not to undermine a labor worker or whatever, but earn the same as, uh, let's say a welder. Well, a welder is a good skill, but I don't know. Let's say a mechanic, right? How the heck is that doctor, after investing so much time, even if his or her education was free, okay, after investing all that time, how the heck are they going to earn or receive the same thing as the next person? So, the next person that wants to study to be a doctor, they'll be like, why the heck am I going to become a doctor? I might as well just sit it out, just, work a very easy job and just get paid the same. So here's an example that I always give people. Like, and of course, I didn't invent the car. But for example, let's say I invented the car. It was 1800s all over again, and I'm the one that invented the car. All right, so I built a car. I'm like, oh shoot, it works. It's nice. So I'm like, okay, let me build another one and sell it, right? So I built a car, and somebody from 1800 said, wow, this is cool. Here's $1,000. I'm like, cool. I'm like, okay, I take the $1,000. I take the $1,000. I invest $50 in the parts again. I build another car. Oh shoot. Um. Uh. Oh shoot. That car is nice. Somebody else comes in. I'm like, hey, that car is nice. And I like, listen, I'm sorry, but I have it sold to somebody else for $1,100. No, 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 no. I'll give you $1,500 right now. I'm like, hey, I have to take my word. I have to keep my word. Listen, I'll sell this car for $1,100 to that other person, but I'll build another car for you, and I'll take the 1,500. Right? I think you know where I'm going with this, right? So now all of a sudden, everybody's seeing these other people driving cars. Oh, I want one. I want one. I want one. And all of a sudden, I'm selling the cars. I'm only investing $50, and all of a sudden, I'm selling the cars for $2,000, $3,000, and I'm getting overwhelmed. So I tell my brother, hey, I'll pay you, I'll pay you $500 if you help me build these cars, right? So my brother comes in. I'm able to produce twice as many cars, but now I hire my cousins. Now I hire my friends and this and that. So I'm selling these cars for $5,000 back then or whatever. I'm paying my employees $500. I'm giving them raises to keep them happy or whatever. But I'm earning all that money, right? I'm like, okay. So my question to all you left nuts are: do I deserve to? If I sold, I don't know, what's the math? 200 cars at $5,000. I think that's $1 million, right? If I sold 200 cars at $5,000, or I sold 300, to cover for all the expenses, and I earned $1 million, do I deserve to be a millionaire? Do I deserve that $1 million? Do I deserve to buy luxury stuff and all that? I'm posing the question. I'm not going to answer. I know what my answer is. Okay. I'm going to pose the question now. My cousin, my brother, my cousins, my friends that I hired that are helping me build these cars, they all get together and say, damn, here's where envy comes in, my opinion. Damn, Roberto's earning all this money. He has become a millionaire, and we're here, um, uh, you know, just getting paid $1,000 for each car that he's selling. I think we deserve more. Let's all get together and boycott and let's all get together and tell Roberto that he needs to share all his profits with all his workers. What? I'm the one that came up with the idea. Come up with your own idea and start selling it. Guess what? Guess what book I summarized all in a nutshell? The Communist Manifesto. Read it. The bourgeois and all that stuff. Read it. Read the Communist Manifesto. Okay. So now I'm like, damn. Now I don't have the money to make the cars better. Because now I'm paying all my profits to the employees. Now I can't invest in my business. I can't innovate. I can't innovate. Like factories, machines that can build the cars a lot faster because I have to pay now all my profits to these employees. Now I'm stuck. How the heck is now and that's going to prevent the engineer from earning money from designing a machine to make the cars fast, to manufacture the cars at a quicker pace, to make the machines better, to make them safer, to make them this, to make them that. The innovation, that is what makes a country thrive. Okay, the freedom, the lack of regulation. If you don't like, I don't know, if you don't like Walmart because they're becoming monopolized, or if you don't like Google, if you don't like whatever, I don't know, take your pick. Stop buying from them. Stop buying their product. That'll solve the whole problem. If you don't like it that they're becoming rich, if you don't like it that they're price gouging and increasing their by the way, the definition of price gouging, I guess, is when they bring up the prices of our actual necessities, not of our wants. But if they're raising the prices of the cars that you like or whatever, don't buy them. Simple as that. Or make make competition. See, the freedom of competition. Make competition. Build your own stuff better, cheaper, and market the shit out of it. That's how you're gonna get all these all these tycoons or whatever. That's how you're gonna get them back. That by doing that, stop buying their product. That is free market. So the further right, the further free the market is, the more capitalist a market is. Okay, the more flourishing, the more thriving the country becomes economically. That's what people don't understand. That's why cutting taxes on corporations all across the board works. And you know what? Let's get into the discussion of taxes. I believe there should be zero income tax. Income tax is unconstitutional. Read the Constitution. Income tax is unconstitutional. We should not tax from the sweat of a man's brow. Paraphrasing something along that line. There should be zero tax. Now, there should be tax for commerce, yes, corporate tax. And you know what? I believe in a sales tax all across the board. Let's say, I've heard this before, 15% sales tax all across the board, zero income tax. That'll eliminate, I hope they don't go after me because of what I'm saying, but That'll eliminate the IRS. It'll eliminate the funding, the tax burden that we have on the on the IRS, on paying all these IRS employees. It'll eliminate that. You know, just have the Treasury, whatever, 50% taxes right across the board. That way, it is all equal, right? Everybody will pay their fair share of taxes. So the poor person that is only able to afford a $20,000 car, okay, the poor person that's only able to afford a $20,000 car will pay whatever $3,000 in taxes. Hey, that's a heck of a lot better than paying income tax, right? $3,000 taxes, right? The rich person that wants to buy the $1 million car will pay $150,000 in taxes. Hey, they're paying their fair share, right? They want the good stuff. Pay the taxes for it. That will fund the government, but zero income tax. Yeah, okay. Let's say corporate tax as well. Tax on corporate profits or whatever. Blah blah blah. When something like that can be developed, but zero personal income taxes. And corporate taxes, that's also iffy as well, because if the corporation is gonna sell the products that they build or the service, and then they're gonna charge taxes on the service, right? Then that taxes rolls over to the government, so may possibly even zero profit taxes or capital gains taxes. Sorry, how about that one? I don't know. That'll resolve the whole issue. So that will, that will flourish a country. So all that talk about the tariffs are gonna are gonna charge a tax on the American people, all of that is theoretical. They're not taking into account all the jobs and manufacturing that's going to come back into the United States, all the jobs that are going to be created, the competition, the tax revenue, tax confiscation that the tariffs are going to bring into the government. Yeah, imports are going to be expensive, but buy American. If you live in America, buy American. If you like foreign products, pay the taxes. Okay, but we should be auto-sufficient, auto-independent. That's not the word, but self-sufficient. We should be a self-sufficient, self-efficient country that can build its own stuff and live, and have its own basic necessities. Okay, so I'm rambling. I'm almost there. I've got about 20 minutes left to get to my destination. So at that point, we're going to wrap it up, because I don't want to. Well, yeah, I could end it, but whatever. So it's been 3 hours, and not one person has joined me on Jitsi Meet. If you're just joining, the description I have on on YouTube and Facebook. Okay, if you follow the directions, it'll it'll um, it'll connect you for us to be able to talk live in person, right? If you agree with me, please uh, jump in. If you disagree with me, please jump in. Um, I'm not gonna have time to address all your comments. I'll try when I get there, but I have to meet some new drivers, etc. So I'm not gonna be able to do it this time. But every Wednesday at noon, join me and a couple of others on Jitsi, and let's have a discussion. Let's have a debate. Let's have a discussion. Let's um, let's brainstorm and interchange ideas on how we can make America great. Sure, make America greater, man. Okay, because I truly believe that America is still great. Yeah, it's been rough 4 years, but still, in comparison with other countries, America is still great, and we can make it greater. And we could definitely make it greater, and we could keep America great and make America greater. Man, okay, but we need to do it together. Trump alone cannot and will not do it, which he's not able to. It's impossible. One person cannot do it. Yeah, policies can help, especially economic policies, especially tax policies, blah, blah, blah. That can help, yes, but it's all up to us. And at the end of the day, and I'm going to say this publicly, and I'm going to say, we still need to keep all, including Trump, we need to keep all public servants and representatives in check. We need to hold them accountable. We need to keep Trump in check. We need to keep all our public servants and all our representatives in check. And those are the things we discuss on Wednesdays at noon Eastern Standard Time in I hope to see you there. Okay. To discuss these things because it is very important. We need to learn. We need to learn how to use the system to hold our representatives accountable. The Congress, they have uh, all these congressional meetings and Senate meetings and Senate hearings and so on and so forth and whole 9 yards. They could only do so much. They only know how to do so much. I believe that most of them don't know how to use the system, in my opinion. Okay, it is up to us, we the people, to learn how to learn the court system. No matter what you all say, okay, there's a way that you can use the court system against even the judge. All this talk about the judge is talking about this is my court and I do whatever I want. That is not the case. The judge is only uh, a referee, if you will, between two parties, and uh, and they need to abide by the rules of the court that have been established for centuries, even before America was established. There's ways of how to use the rules of the court. There's ways of how to use the Constitution to keep these representatives and public servants in check and hold them to the oath that they took before they took office. But we need to get together and learn how to do it. And that is what we do Wednesdays at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Time, which is 9 o'clock Pacific, every single Wednesday. I hope to see you all there. We need to get together and discuss these things. We have drifted apart. The People's Convoy or the convoys were a beautiful thing. Everybody got together. I really thought that we were going to get together, turn this thing around, get educated, learn the Constitution, and put the Constitution to work, but it fizzled away. Unfortunately, it fizzled away, but we need to get back to that. We need to get together. Just because Trump took office now, it doesn't mean that we're saved. No, no. We need to get together. Democrats, join us. You know, we try to be unpartisan as possible, unbiased, because it's all about the Constitution. Democrats, lefties, if you believe in the Constitution, please join us on Wednesdays at noon. We need to learn how to use a system to keep representatives, including the President of the United States, in check. Okay? And you know what? What I'm gonna do, if this was successful, I don't know how successful this was. If this was successful, then I'll go live on Wednesday at noon in Facebook and YouTube and Rumble and do the same setup, so that at least if you're shy about jumping in and talking, because you can even jump in, Jitsi, and just stay quiet and listen in. But if you are, you know, I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna go live while we are on Jitsi, so you can at least listen to the discussion. And if you want to chime in and jump in, you'll be able to. The instructions are gonna be there for you to jump in to Jitsi and have a live discussion with it. So there's things that are discussed there that I hope won't flag my Facebook and my YouTube. So I might just do it on Rumble. I don't know. I mean, thinking about it a little better now. I mean, I'll give it a shot. If I get flagged, then I will. Then if I get flagged either on Facebook or YouTube, then I won't. I won't do it on Facebook and YouTube anymore. I'll just do it on Rumble. So, uh, so I'm about to get here in about 5 minutes. Since there's not many, um, since there's not many comments, I'll try to address it real quick before I jump out. But yeah, um, I'm gonna get to my destination in 5 minutes. I can't believe I've been rambling for over 3 hours already. Me by myself, me myself and I. I mean, along with you folks. Thank you for joining. But nobody, not one of you jumped into my Jitsi to talk in person. I mean, uh, did any of you try to jump in and weren't able to for some reason? I mean, are you skeptical about it? I mean, if you trust Zoom, then you gotta trust Jitsi, because Jitsi, again, it's open source, it's encrypted. You don't need to register an email. You don't need to fill out your name, last name, address, none of that. You don't need to register an email address. You don't need to put in a password. You don't need to put in a name. Ah, I think we finally got somebody. Um, is your mic unmuted? Hello?
For some reason, it's not. We can't. It doesn't. We can't hear it. So I heard it saying, "Oh,
No.
I don't know if you can hear me."
No, it's not. It's not. I don't have. I'm not Jitsi. I'm not on Jitsi per se. Um, let me see. Okay, so okay, you're able to hear me live, right, on Facebook and YouTube. Anybody?
Yes, they could. Not on Jitsi though. I could hear you live on Facebook and on YouTube, but I don't hear nothing. I got to go ahead and mute the consent.
Okay, how about no? Is that my mic was muted?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I gotta forget to unmute the mic.
No, there's no problem whatsoever logging in.
Okay. So
Just to answer the question that they were asking.
yeah. Appreciate it, money.
Well, you go back to what you were doing.
Now question.
Yeah.
Now question. Can you hear yourself on Facebook or YouTube?
Hold on. Let me see. Hold on.
You might want to bring down the volume of the device you're using to be on Jitsi so that it doesn't cause feedback.
I'm actually going through my phone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, but can you hear yourself on Facebook or YouTube?
Okay. Actually, there's like a 10-second delay.
Okay,
So whatever I say, it's not going to go ahead and interrupt it.
Okay, but you do hear yourself.
Yes, I do hear myself.
Loud and clear?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yes.
So,
okay.
So by the way, you folks, whoever's on, multiple people can get on Jitsi Meet. It's just that you might have to lower the volume or mute. Yeah, you might have to lower the volume on the Facebook or YouTube so that there's no feedback. But multiple people can get on here and have a discussion. Wow, honey bunny, you just made my day. One person. I got one person to come into Jitsi. Woohoo! Oh shoot! I passed my. Oh my goodness! What the heck? I passed my exit.
Pay attention.
Darn it! I'm getting off on Union City. Oh my goodness! I was supposed to get off on freaking Fairburn. Darn it!
Bueno, pon atención ahí. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Let's talk later. Anyways, all the devices are working and everything, and could hear myself and all that stuff. No problem whatsoever.
Awesome. Oh, this is awesome.
I'll talk to you later.
I don't know why I didn't come up with this, a couple of years ago. With this setup. But anyway, go do your thing. Thank you.
Anytime.
All right. Bye. Now, see, that wasn't hard. That was not hard at all. But anyways, I guess now we got a couple of minutes before I stop. So yeah, I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. When I get there, I'm just gonna scroll through some of the comments. Maybe not, but I'll probably pick a couple of comments. But anyway, thank you all for joining in. What else can I say? I mean, if there's anything I missed, I mean, we can do this a little more often. But I would love to have a conversation. In fact, I think I'm done. Answering questions. By writing or whatever. What I'm gonna do is, as people put posts or comments on my post, I guess I'll just read it out loud and then respond by talking. That way it stays documented. And yeah, because It takes so much freaking time to type, especially on a phone, and respond, and so on and so forth. I mean, yeah, maybe if I want to, put down a reference or whatever, then yeah, it might be beneficial to type it. But this is so much easier. Except that y'all are being so shy. It's okay, but y'all are being so shy to jump in and have a conversation with me. And I think that I, I don't know if I want to say that it's an issue. I mean, to each its own, but we need to have these conversations. Not just amongst your friends and family, but we need to have these conversations. An actual conversation, and because that's how we brainstorm. I mean, we've become a society that communicates only through text messaging and social media and what's that called, direct messages and so on and so forth, that I think we have forgotten to have uh, to have I'm tired. I don't know how the hell can all these candidates and spend so much time just talking. I mean, if you do this, you can appreciate, for example, Trump. If you do this, you can appreciate Trump, how he holds 2 rallies and 3 rallies. That's why the media were they were trying to hit how, oh, he's getting tired. Look how he's slurring his words. I mean, I'm half his age. Well, I'm not half his age, but I'm nearly like a third of his age or half his age, and I'm nearly half his age, and I've only been talking for 3 hours. Holy smokes! I think I'm going on 4 hours. What the heck? I didn't know I have so much to talk about. Um, and I could feel like my jaw is tired, my mouth is tired, my cheeks are tired. So I kind of feel like I'm getting to the point of I'll probably be slurring my words myself. So you can appreciate what Trump does, that he spent 58 days on the campaign trail, rally after rally, sometimes 2 rallies in a day. I heard 3. I don't know if that's accurate, but this can get you tired. And this is just one day that I've done this. He's lost his voice or whatever. So you kind of like have to keep a pace. Yeah, after days of resting, you can get up there and give it your all, and yes, everybody, blah blah blah, and this and that, you know. But doing it day by day by day, you get tired, mentally drained, physically drained, and you get to a point where, you know what? Let me not go over the top. Let me just keep a pace. Let me just keep a pace, and let me just keep a pace, and and conserve my energy. So any which way, I'm getting to my destination. So I'm just gonna stop in about 2-3 minutes. Look through any comments that I may not have addressed, and we'll wrap it up. So um, thank you all for joining me. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, my YouTube channel is B-75 Truth. B-75 Truth. And you know, subscribe if you like this whole whatever live or whatever, um share it out there. And I don't know anything about monetizing or anything like that. I mean, maybe if I get, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers, whatever, then I'll see about whatever that. I'm not interested in that monetizing thing. I'm all about spreading the word. I'm all about getting together. I'm all about assembling, peacefully assembling, and take our country back peacefully without picking up a stick or anything else. Second Amendment is there to protect the First Amendment, but we should always abide by the First Amendment first. Always. Always First Amendment. Always First Amendment. Second Amendment is absolute last resort. Last resort. Let's keep the Second Amendment to just protect ourselves and defend ourselves, but not to, like the Declaration of Independence says, um, not to have the right and the duty to, what's the wording? I'm going to paraphrase, to overthrow a government. I mean, and if we do it, we could do it with the stroke of pens and with this verbally. We could do it verbally and with the pen. I wholeheartedly, truly believe that we can still do it that way. So, with that said, I'm just arriving. Give me 1 second. I mean, if you guys want to, if there's anybody here, if you want to hang out real quick, I'm just gonna get down, get back on. I'm gonna go over some of the comments, and if there's no comments to go over, then with that we'll wrap it up. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay, I'm back. So again, uh, I guess I'll be going live Wednesdays at noon. No matter what, if I'm a little bit late, just wait around because I'm a little bit um, not too punctual. I'm working on that. But for the most part, you'll see me live on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble Wednesdays at noon. And make sure you join us on Jitsi. Join us on Jitsi Meet. Join us on the Jitsi Meet app, and let's have conversations. So with that said, let me park real quick. We're gonna park real quick. With that said, we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna check out the comments real quick. It'll probably take maybe a minute or two, and we'll take it from there. Give me 1 second, folks. I'll be right back in about less than a minute. 1 second. All right. I'm back, but for another minute, but then I got to get back down real quick and I'll be right back up. The trucking life. All right. Lights. Sorry, folks. Turn on some lights here. All right. So, what do we have here? Let's see. Let's see. I addressed that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Miss Linda said that Trump had a black girlfriend in his early years. So how could he be racist? Okay. Patricia said, long time no see. Okay, not alone. Thank you, Patricia. Okay, yes, it's in the description box. Okay. Okay, Blue Lady said you have to back out of chat and go into the description on video. Oh, okay. All right, and that's on YouTube. Okay. Uh, okay, yeah. Robert Byrd was the former GR grand man. Forgot what it is. Grand something. See, Derek Johnson shows all of the EOs and laws and order documents. He's the only one I've seen with proof. I believe D. Ross was referring to what was I talking about? Uh, oh, the evidence of BlackRock funding mainstream media or whatever. Okay, all the money being sent to Ukraine and elsewhere. Trump's a great negotiator and very smart. He and others will do a great job. Linda asked, when will I be coming on again? Well, I guess Wednesday. I guess I'll be coming on Wednesdays. Okay, D-Ross says he learned a lot the first 4 years and will be even better now and not make the same mistakes he made before with the wrong people surrounding him. Yep, I think I addressed that. Okay, gotta go. I can't believe he's considering. Okay, so Linda says, I can't believe he's considering Pompeo again. What's up with that? I haven't followed. I never followed what happened with the Pompeo thing or whatever. I don't know. I never followed that. Okay, yeah, okay. Here we were talking about abortion. As soon as it's fertilized and a fetus, which means little human in Greek, at 22 weeks, can live outside the womb. Okay. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. At what point is a fetus, considered a human being? That will resolve all the issues about abortion. Okay, use contraception to prevent pregnancy, not murder for contraception. Well said. It's a living vessel, and as soon as it's called fetus and not embryo, it is a little human. I didn't hear all of that. What's up? Hi. Okay, now I understand. The Facebook user says, "What's up, my highway hero?" Okay, now I understand. Okay, well, Facebook user, I guess you're not on right now, but I'm chilling. I'm doing my thing out here. Thank you. Okay, this is when I was saying that Roe v. Wade was unconstitutional. Yes, unconstitutional, and it's up to states to vote. That's why we are a republic. Yeah, gonna try to get on. Yes, but we made a covenant with God as demonstrated with the rainbow. Uh, Good evening, Miss Brenda. I know it's kind of late. You're probably not on anymore, but yeah. Good evening, Miss Brenda. Okay. Facebook user said, "My brother, they're holding back because they they probably don't want to get slaughtered by you." I wonder what he or she meant by that. Not forced though, just reference and literature would be great. Okay, okay, Linda, we can agree on that. I Yeah, we're talking about bringing the Bible to school, but I say, study it as literature, but not, as the Bible's there, study it as literature, but not as truth or anything like that. Um, that's what Linda meant by that. That's what. Oh, thank you, Miss Linda. Okay, she said that's what I like about you. You're real. Remember, they force us to follow the science. Now I don't trust it. Okay, Miss Brenda said, don't forget civics. Oh, yeah, that's when I was talking about education to the school. I got to go, but I'm going to try for Wednesday. And Román. Hola, Rigo, ¿cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú? Milagro que te veo en directo. Sí, así mismo es. Está bien, un fuerte abrazo. Saludos desde California. Está bien. All right. With that said, um, okay. With that said, guess we're gonna wrap it up. So, have a good night, everyone. Talk to you Wednesday.